Hi, welcome to, and I finally have most of the things for my new Heaven and Earth design, and I want to show you guys. First of all, Progress Mirabilia, I've worked on it a little bit, and so I've made progress with the dress. I'll try to show you here. But really the last couple of weeks I've been working on putting together my Heaven and Earth design. So I am doing Amy Stewart's Heroes and Heroines, the color expansion. So I'll show you the picture, and it's got several scenes in it, and these are all famous, basically romantic couples from literature, like Romeo and Juliet, and Antony and Cleopatra, Robin Hood and Maid Marian, Elizabeth and Mr. Darcy, and other couples from the Phantom of the Opera and The Great Gatsby and lots of others. So, but it's basically, I think, 12 scenes, and it's a big one. It's 750 stitches wide by 574 stitches high, which is a lot of stitches. I did choose the color expansion, so it's 150 colors, and let me show you what 150 colors looks like. It's this. It's a lot of colors, and I took the time to put everything on bobbins and to label it and mark it, and had to get the biggest floss box that I've ever had to buy. So this is all set. I decided to use 25 count Lugana, and I bought it already gridded, and so I actually found it on Etsy. It's Tinge of Color, and I emailed back and forth with Shauna at Tinge of Color several times, trying to decide, was I going to use 18 count, or was I going to use 25, and what size did I need, and did I want it over 2 or over 1? And she was really patient with me and really great, and so I ended up getting the 25 count Lugana and already gridded. And I actually ordered a scroll frame that was 36 inches wide, so huge, and it is lost in the mail. So rather than waiting, some type of eternity to get it resolved and get a new frame, I put it on a Q-snap and I started working on it. Oh boy. I'm stitching it 2 over 1 10th stitch, and I realized pretty quickly that counting, I've always worked on 32 count linen, and I've stitched 2 over 2, and so when I'm counting on the linen I use boxes, so counting box to box to box is pretty easy, and counting diagonal to diagonal to diagonal is a lot harder, and it's been really challenging for me. And this pattern seems to have lots of blocks with confetti, and so I decided to try parking for the first time ever, and watched a couple of tutorials on YouTube and how different people do it, and I realized that some of the colors that I was working on travel very well. There's a border over here, and then some travel down, and so I'm still kind of figuring out how I'm going to do it so that I don't go nuts. This is my second full coverage piece, and I think starting any full coverage piece or stitching it a new way there's a lot of learning that has to be done. I realized that I need a needle threader, so I did go out and buy one today, because just having to, like last night I was stitching, and I swear there are like 40 colors in 100 a 10 by 10 grid, and so I had to start 40 different threads and do a stitch or two, figure out where it was parked, take the needle off the thread and do it again for like 2 hours or an hour and a half. And so I'm hoping that with parking I will, it will be okay, because this pattern is like 116 pages. And I ended up getting it printed from the company, and they printed it on really nice paper. So, you know, they did a good job. I'm glad I did that. And I'm also, you know, marking it with highlighters. So I'm highlighting in purple what I've stitched, and then in yellow what I've parked. I also today, I found erasable highlighters. And so if I make mistakes, I think this might be helpful. We'll see. So I've done some work on it. We'll see how it goes. The jury's still out on whether this tent stitching is going to work. Initially, I was super excited because I thought, you know, half the time, yay. And no, I don't think it'll take half the time. We'll see. It's a big piece. So that has been something that I've been working on quite a bit. So I've switched. I've done, you know, the Mirabilia is my easy stitching, and then this is kind of my just a little bit more difficult. And I, you know, if I could get a proper sort of frame and stand for it, might be a little bit easier. We'll see. But I do love the pattern, and I was really torn between this and the Treasure Seekers. And Confession, I ended up buying the Treasure Seekers pattern as well. And so we'll see. At some point I might start that, although I should not be starting multiple full coverage pieces because I'll never get them finished. So we'll see what happens. But the other thing that has happened is that I have also discovered diamond painting, and I really, really like it. And I ended up getting sort of on the fly this little cute kit, and from Joann's, which is a craft store in the US. And it's just this little mermaid. It took, you know, just a couple of hours, and it was lovely. So I ended up buying another one that I've started as well. And this butterfly, which is a partial. They're both round drills. And again, I love it. I find it something that when I'm sitting at the table, if my 2-year-old is occupied with a kind of craft of her own, or drawing or coloring or something, then I can usually do this. Of course, she wants to do it too, so we'll see. And then today I went to Michael's, another craft store, specifically for this because I found Van Gogh's, what's it called? Cafe at Night. And this is a full coverage, or, you know, it's entirely drills, it's round drills, and it was on clearance for $15.97, originally $40. So I think that that was great, and I was very happy to find it on clearance, because it's funny, as Joann's is just now starting to carry a lot of diamond painting things, or not a lot, but quite a few kits. Michael's is clearancing theirs out, and I don't think they'll carry them anymore. And then in reverse, Michael's is now carrying a lot more cross-stitch things, and I got an email from them telling me that cross-stitch was now a trend. So we'll see. And Joann's is actually, I couldn't even find tapestry needles at Joann's the other day. They didn't have any. So I think it's interesting how the two crafts kind of wax and wane between the stores. So anyway, now I feel very split, because I've got, you know, my Mirabilia, which I love. I've got the full coverage piece, which I want to make a lot of progress on. I've got diamond painting and Confession. I've got 2 diamond paintings coming through the mail that I've ordered, and I still have my chatelaine. So lots of good haul coming up, and a lot of good stitching. So we'll see. I don't know what I'll get done, but I have a lot of really good stitching projects that will kind of fill my life, or fill kind of my free time, and give me a lot of audiobook listening time as well, or Floss tube watching. So anyway, I just wanted to update everybody on where things were with my stitching, and hopefully I'll have my frame soon, and hopefully I'll have some good things to show you on hauls as well. And so we'll see, maybe in a week or so I can show those to you. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.